Morning, everybody. When the Constitutional Convention met in 1787, there were all kinds of debates about rights of the people, rights of the states, the power of the federal government. And over the next couple of years, it was clear that some kind of Bill of Rights needed to be added in order for the Constitution to be ratified. And it was on this date in 1789, June 8, that James Madison, considered the father of the Constitution, proposed 12 amendments to the Constitution, 10 of which would become the Bill of Rights. This picture shows the Articles of Confederation. This was a document that governed our country when we became independent from Britain, but it had lots of problems, and some of those problems were illustrated during Shays' Rebellion, which happened in Massachusetts, and it was complicated, but it did reveal that the central government was pretty weak, and this was on the mind of the delegates that met in Philadelphia to at first revise the Articles of Confederation. But they decided they would start from scratch and write a new constitution. So the author of our current constitution is this guy, James Madison, who became our fourth president. And it was on this date in 1789, June 8, that Madison proposed 12 amendments to the Constitution. Now, this is Alexander Hamilton. His vision of the United States was that it would be mostly urban, industrial, with a strong central government in Washington and a strong central bank. His bitter opponent was Thomas Jefferson, pictured here, who saw just the opposite. Jefferson preferred farming, rural spaces. He did not want a strong government in Washington. He did not want a strong central bank. And out of these disagreements came really the first two political parties, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. The Federalists wanted a strong central government, the Anti-Federalists a weak central government. And this was a real back and forth in those early days. And as the new Constitution was being ratified, some states did it right away, but others said we need more guarantees for the rights of the people and the rights of the states. This was a big anti-federalist concern. And Massachusetts, and this is the old State House in Boston, it was the Massachusetts people who said we will not ratify the new Constitution unless there's a Bill of Rights. So Madison went back to his history. He knew about the English Bill of Rights from 1689 during the Glorious Revolution and the time of William and Mary. He also knew about the Magna Carta. So as he started writing up amendments, he had over 20, and he initially included them within the text of the Constitution. But the amendments went to committee, and the committee decided to whittle them down to 12, and they also took them out of the text of the Constitution and made them a separate list, because they didn't want to violate the integrity of that initial document. And these are the 10 amendments that we all know from studying them in school. What about the two that didn't make it? Well, one of them had to do with congressional apportionment based on population, and it was hard to understand and never ratified. And the other had to do with compensation of senators and representatives, and that became the 27th Amendment. Now, the 14th Amendment was added after the Civil War, and it clearly said that the rights of the Bill of Rights apply at the state level. And that was the first time that was really clarified. So if you go to Washington, D.C. today, this is in the National Archives. This is the Bill of Rights under glass. Other states have theirs on display too. And on December 15 in 1941, FDR declared Bill of Rights Day, because it was on December 15 in 1791 that the first amendments were ratified. So circle that date on your calendar, everybody. December 15, Bill of Rights Day. And I think we'd all agree that the Bill of Rights are really important. Part of the drama of being an American today is how we continually wrestle to reinterpret those. but we'd all agree they're crucial to our democracy.